Hello, my name is Bugs Tan and I am from Malaysia. So I am very happy to be given a chance uh, to be a keynote speaker for this iCAN competition for inventor, and this is the sixth in the series. And I know Mr. Moon personally for more than 10 years, and he has invited me to be speakers to share some of the knowledge that I have in the area of creativity and innovation. So I have picked a subject today called the key to creative thinking, and I'm going to spend time with you to talk about the fundamental of our thinking mind, and also the scenario, the difficulty that is happening in a company, especially a large company, how innovation is taking place and their difficulty that they go through, because this is a subject that I'm very good at. So I'm going to spend time talking to you. If you are a manager of a company, I think this is the right video for you to see how you can say create the platform for your company to be more creative, to come up with more good ideas, so that you can stay ahead in competition in the area that you are competing. This is very important. Before that, I'd like to thank again the Toronto International Society for Innovation and Advanced Skill to invite me, and then I think they have done a good job despite this pandemic that has been wrecking the world, wrecking the business, disrupt business, disrupt manufacturing, disrupt the services, disrupt schools, disrupt everything, disrupt our life. But yet they can also come up with this this competition for us, people like you, people like me, the scientists, the inventors around the world are able to compete, so that we know whether our ideas are good ideas or are they just so-so ideas. So competition is a good way to benchmark, to know that where you stand, and of course you also get a chance to meet other people and to listen to other keynote speakers. There are a lot of areas that we need to learn and to improve ourselves, so that we can continue to innovate for mankind, innovate for ourselves, innovate for a better future for the world. And I'm from Vitrox Academy, a small new setup in the area of education in Malaysia, and we're happy to be involved in this iCAN competition. All right, so I want to go on to give you a statement of what I thought about creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovation have changed the way we live our life. It has allowed human beings to produce more products and services. With new technology, it has established new social norms and cultural values. Isn't it right? Yeah. Say, 500 years ago, telephone was just made, just created. Then today, we have improved so much on the phone. And those days we cannot carry a phone, but now we carry the phone in our pocket. We go everywhere. So in future, another 500 years to come, there will still be innovation. This is what I mean by the cultural value. New norms are always changing due to creativity and innovation. All right. So I hope you bear in mind whatever we do today they came from yesterday, and whatever we do today, there will be something new tomorrow. All right. So there's always a constant. It's always dynamic. It won't change. It will change. It won't remain the same. It will always change, right? So you need to continue to innovate. You cannot say, "Oh yeah, I won 10 medals. I want to retire now." That's not the case. You have to continue. Whether if you won 10 medals, yes, we recognize you as a good inventor, but behind the scene, you can continue to innovate things. And in particularly, if you have come to age, you also need to get the young one to be able to look at things differently and help them in their pursuit, in their path to make this world a better way, a better place for everyone. Okay, so I continue my slides. Okay, now this is research that I've done. I've done research in companies in Malaysia, whether they are manufacturing a product, or whether they are providing a service, whether they are in airline company, or whether they're in bank, or if they are producing product, whether they are producing furniture, or they are producing some computer chips, or they are in an oil company. It's the same. The scenario, the larger the company is, the more complicated. So I wanted to know when a policy comes down, especially the policy of innovation is bring down, because the top management knows that if we don't innovate, we will lose up to a competitor. So he will tell their managers. So the manager listen to the bosses and say, yeah. So how do I do it? How do I bring it down to the people? Oh yeah, I just tell them, my boss tell me to do, so you have to do the same. So these are just best case, hopeful scenario, but they are not the best case. They are just hopeful scenario. So I have studied all these problems and factors. So I make that problem into 3 factors. So the first factors I want to talk about opportunity. There was an opportunity to create a new culture of creativity in the company, so that this innovation can take place. There are new ideas that can be created. But then again, as you can see, I list down 3 major sub-factors in this opportunity factor. The difficulty in carrying out the policy, because the boss is so high. The boss is so high, and usually a company that has got large, like for example a bank has got so many branches, and each branch they have got so many levels or more. So from the HQ, when a policy is bring down to the branches, and from the branch manager they bring down to the people, it's very difficult, because the message doesn't get down. The policies are not clear, and the worst is the manager themselves. The manager themselves, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to be expected of them. They doesn't know what except to tell his staff, hey, you have to be innovative. But in reality, they don't know what to do. All right. So this is the thing that I found out. And the second factor that I found out is a gap. There is actually a gap from where the top bosses and to the people down the floor. The gap is so huge, because staff is not interested. They are not well informed. They are not well informed, and staff are not trained to be creative, because they are trained to do the job, right? To deliver something, or to create something, or to run a machine. They are trained to do that. Or when there's a fire drill, that will happen. It's about safety. They are trained for all these sort of things. Or when a customer comes, how to deal with a customer. They're trained in this. But to train them to think creatively, there is no training for them, and it's very difficult. So most of the staff simply are not interested. They say, this is not my job. This is the boss job. This is not my job. So this is the very big gap that the company must address. And then the third thing is that for creativity or for culture to happen, there must be a phenomena. There must be a phenomena, meaning there must be a natural environment, a natural song, natural wind that blows, this kind of cultural norms and cultural value. But it's very difficult, because there's a lack of exposure of training, like I say. So people doesn't know what you're talking about, and how to be creative, or how to be innovative. If I have an idea, assuming I have an idea, and I'm down on the shop floor, and I'm in manufacturing, what to do? So this is the problem. There is no channel. There's no proper system. The company doesn't know what to do. Yeah. So in Asian country, this is the norm in all Asian countries, whether Japan, Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, is that the boss is always right. These are Asian values. When the boss is always right, the worker dare not to tell the boss, hey, I got a better idea than yours. No. The worker in Asian countries, when they have idea, they dare not to tell the bosses. So when they did not to tell the bosses, so good ideas never go up to the top. So there must be a way, a cultural change. The boss must come down and say, look, I need you. I need you to come up with ideas. So as you can see, unless we have this new phenomena, new cultural change, otherwise it's very difficult for the staff to contribute ideas. And also staff taking risks. Some of the ideas that he want to tell his bosses or want to implement, if it's okay, then they maybe clap a hand, but there's no real incentive for him. But if he do it wrong, everybody point a finger at him. His head will be chopped. So he doesn't earn anything. So why would he want to take the risk? Can you see that? So that phenomena will not work. That culture of creativity in a company which the bosses or the top bosses want to create, it will not happen unless you put into structure whereby someone come out with an idea, he is been rewarded, he's been praised. This is part of my study about human behavior. And human behavior is that when someone done well, he wants the Olympic medals, or he wants to be mentioned, in the public assembly. Mr. So and so has done well. This is a human behavior. They want to get some kind of recognitions. And of course, creating ideas from, creating innovation from ideas to innovation. There are many steps which I will discuss later. But most of the staff or most of the company, they don't know. They don't know how to do it. The thing is that when someone says, I have an idea, the boss says, oh, you have an idea? Okay, you go in and do it. So this is very difficult for the person that has the idea and he has to create it, because this is doing it for the first time. So without the support from the management, he will not be successful. So this is my sharing today. Like I say, if you are a company, it's good that you play this video again and again so that you can understand. Of course, you can contact me. I will give you my email address at the end of the talk, or you can go to LinkedIn. You can link in and you type Bugs Tan. I'm sure you can find me and you can communicate with me. Wherever you are around the world, you can communicate with me. This is the theoretical framework which I did for my study. As I say, a large company who has got many branches and has got many staff, they are normally segmentized. Segmentized into, say, business unit 1, business unit 2, business unit 3, business unit 4. So different business unit will have different product for different segment. Then after that, you have got your finance department, logistic department. Then you have got your other kind of department. So in the department, in a company, there are maybe 10 department, 12 department, and what I did was I will then group them up. I call them independent variables. So first, I talk about the policy. The policy itself is important. This theoretical framework is to work in such a way. How can we make a company, to drive a company to run a successful innovation policy? This is the theoretical framework. So to do that, I group these independent variable. I call them independent variable. We can take this independent variable plus if I put in intervening variable plus I put in continuous variable, then I can get what I call a dependent variable, which is the result that we want to achieve. So I want to go back again to tell you the independent variable. We have got this innovation policy, which the manager, the top management has to come up what they want. What is it about this policy? Then in the company, I then break it up into a manager level and also a technical level. So the managerial level, he has got a different role, and then a technical level, he has got a different role. So whether you have got business unit 1 or business unit 2 or business unit 3 and 4, they are called technical level. In the technical, in the business unit, they are also manager. So the manager is different. So they are called manager level, right? So if you are giving training to the manager level, and if you are giving training to the technical level, they have to have different type of training, different type of mindset that you are tackling, so that they know their role. The role is different. So this is why I separate them. Then what I do is that you need to have training. Like I say, if you look at the symptoms of why companies are not successful in the earlier slide, then you'll know these people are not trained. Most companies are not like Google or not like Facebook, where the innovations are their norm. I'm looking at the other 95% of the company in the world who are from traditional, from their father down to their children, down to their grandchildren, and they have grown to become big giant, or over the 100 of years, like banks, over the 100 years, they have evolved into a huge company, but they still lack of things like that. So the next thing I want to do is to say that you need to also have first training, then after that you need to have incentive for them. You need to have some scheme, appraisal, whereby if they do well, they come up with good ideas. Part of the appraisals is get them to appreciate them. Of course, you got to reward them. I've run some program for companies, and we run competition. So each time 2 months we have one competition, and everyone will deposit their ideas inside. I have simple forms like this called iSketch form. Of course, in the earlier days I did it in a hard copy. Then now it's in digitalized. So this is actually a very simple way for staff to come up with ideas. So they have to tell their name and their department. Then if it goes, first you have to talk about the problem statement. The problem statement that they know, that they have seen, whether it's in a factory floor, or whether it's dealing with a customer, or whether the congestion in their delivery systems or logistics. So the problem statement is written here. The better the problem statement is, the better the invention comes about. So the idea is to solve the problem. So once you know the problem, you have to think very hard and try to solve that problem, because you saw the problem. And if you can conceptualize the idea how to solve the problem, then you sketch it out here. Yeah, sketch it out. Number 2, you sketch it out. When you sketch it out, then people can understand what's in your mind. If you don't sketch it out, then how will people know what you're talking about? So by sketching it out, whether it's a gadget, especially a process. So process you will do, like for example the old process, it takes 7 steps from invoicing to delivery or to payment. Then you have improved method, maybe 5 steps. You save 2 steps. So before and after. All the way you deal with the customer when a customer complaint comes by. So what I'm trying to say is this is where you create your new idea. All right. So after you have created a new idea, then you have to also tell me the new features, right? New feature. New feature is where your invention is, your idea is. It has to be something novel, whereby by having that new idea incorporated into whatever your system is or your gadget is, that become more useful for the user. This is where then I come and you have to describe to me what is advantage. What is the advantage of someone, a user, that uses your new product? How good it is, and also what is the wow factor? Wow, but not you, the user. Always remember, when you say you're happy and all that, you have to be careful. You're not important. What's important is the person that use your new product or use your new idea, and he has to benefit him. All right. Then the last is that. Of course, then the advantage, like I say, advantage to the user. Then the last is the commercial impact. Whatever you do, whether if you are manufacturing, and your idea can save wastage, your idea can save manpower, your idea can save, say, floor space, and this all can be quantified into dollar and cent. So what do? You quantify them by say, oh, I save so many kilo per day. Then you multiply by per month, multiply by per year. So maybe you save 25,000. All right. So we want to say your idea worth 25,000, or sometimes your idea may work 255,000. Some guests we may just how to say, release in the air, but we can recover those gas and reuse again for other area. So you are saving 250,000, assuming you are running a new steel mill. So these are the ideas that the company wants. The company needs it. So when I run competitions like that, and and everybody get excited and they deposit ideas. So then I will then help this company to segregate this kind of ideas into three types. First type ideas are simple ideas. Simple ideas that can be implemented. For example, instead of putting the waste paper basket here, you put it over there. More people use the waste paper basket there or things like that. So you can implement easily, right? Second is those that your people, the people in the company need to work with inter-department to create it. Something that require a bit of time and to make it successful. Whereby then this is where I come in again to help people to create a department, an innovation department, so that this department can look at ideas and make this idea realized together with whoever the person come up with the idea. I call him inventor. He can be a sales manager, but I call him inventor as well. Or he can be a cleaner or tea lady. So they also, I call them inventor. Whatever the idea come from them, I call them inventor. And the third type is those ideas that require a further R&D, maybe involve university or involve another company, and those are harder to do. So I will then segregate into three. So then we have got three different prizes, and then for the winner we give them a handful, something that's valuable. They're very happy with it. Then for those who doesn't win, we have got like 10 consolation prize or 20 consolation prize. We give them tickets. You go have a movie with your girlfriend. So this is the cultural norm we want to create in an organization. Whether if you're a private company, I've done a lot of same thing for government department. I've done for the Malaysian police. Yes, and police is very funny. Police actually very big. In Malaysia we have got big police force, but I cannot do everything. So I did the logistic department within the police force, and that also already 25,000 officers, staff in the police. So Malaysia, we import a lot of things from overseas. So now we begin to create our own device, our own system. So I'm very happy that I was able to help that department. I've done also for a lot of Ministry of Works, and also many private companies. Many private companies has done it. So I was thinking, it is not so difficult if the company is willing to give training and also to create these platforms so that people are able to excel. Everybody has a mind, they can go very far. All right. So here is this one slide, which I want to say is that Robert Heinlein, he's actually one of the fiction writer. He says the populations in the world can be segregated into three types: Group A, Group B, and Group C. So Group A are people who simply cannot think, and then Group B are people who can think and can do. All right. Group A, no matter how much training you give to him, he cannot come up with any idea. I think you've seen that before, right? And Group B are those who can think and they can do. All right. And Group C are those people who can think but don't want to do, and they are 90% of them. Yes. So this phenomena that I've learned, that I've studied, that I've done my research, it happens in private company. It also happens in NGOs. It also happens in public sector, the ministries, and also the government agencies. And another thing that I found out, this not happen in Asia, this happen worldwide. So if you are listening to me from America or from Canada, I'm telling you, this 90% of people are the people that you should be tackling, right? You should be tackling and tell them, look, you can think actually. So now I'm going to put a system, whatever you think, we're going to harvest your idea and we try to use it. All right? Okay? So to do that, I suggest that you do a three-prong. First, you discuss about the people, which is your staff. Second is the place. The place means the company. The top management themselves, if you are a boss of the company, I'm telling you directly, you have to come down and make a video, a 2-minute video, and talk to your staff and say, look, I need you to think, I need you to give me ideas, and your ideas will be used if it's good, and you'll be rewarded. This is what they want to hear from you, all right? And the third is the process. Remember the iSketch form I spoke about? This is just one simple idea. Of course, there are many people with many ideas, but I have run this very successfully, and if the process is easy to follow, people tend to play a role, play their role, play their part, and give the idea to you. All right? And this is just to talk about mindset. Remember, early part of the video, I spoke about, I want to discuss a little bit about the mind. So, can you tell me, can you fill up the blank or not? Mindsets are what? Mindsets are belief about ourselves and our most basic quality, that is our intelligence, talent, and personality. That means mindset, our own belief. We believe we can, or we believe we cannot. So these are the beliefs that we have. So are these qualities simply fixed traits, unchanging? So you see, these people is this, when they think they cannot, oh, I don't have a PhD degree, I cannot do the thinking. So that's a fixed mind, right? So the thing is, or can we cultivate and grow them throughout our life? Actually, we can. No matter how fixed your mind is, you can unfix it. You can unfix it and learn a new way of doing things, and you can grow. Your mind has a lot of potential. I know, I know that a human being has this mind that can cultivate to the fullest. The trouble is we only use one tiny bit of our mind. So, so if you are a manager of a company, I'm telling you, your staff can go further than that. All they need is a little bit of push from you, a little bit of encouragement from you, a little bit of sweet talking from you. They can come up with lots of ideas, right? Give them some freedom to express their creativity, right? Okay, so the mind and the brain, as you can see here. I just want to tell you, the mind is actually the software, and the brain is just the hardware, right? You need both. So a healthy mind, a healthy body is a healthy mind, right? So the hardware is healthy, the mind is healthy. They won't get jammed, so that they can process smoothly, right? And how do we do that is, this is another important statement which I found that came from Mr. Matsushita. He's the founder of Panasonic. He is one of the, what the Japanese call him, god of entrepreneurship. He was a young man, came from a rich family, but a family lost in shares, and then he, at year 4 in school, he dropped out, and he worked in a bicycle apprentice shop, and from there he grew, and then at 26 he became. He worked for the Osaka Electric Company. Then at 26 he quit and he became his own business. But he and his wife and the brother-in-law, they got no experience. They don't know what to build. And then from there he started to invent a two-way switch. Light bulb with two-way. Maybe you're too young to know. For some people are too young to know. Then we pull, we get a red bulb. We pull again. Then we get right bulb. We pull again. The light goes off and things like that. So he created that. So then later on he became successful. Later on, he created many things. He also created the iron. In those days, my grandmother's time, even my mother's time, we put charcoal, in the iron. Then he came up with electric iron. So, and also rice cooker. In those days, we had bamboo, and we need to cook. The pot is made of bamboo, and we need to use the firewood to cook. So Matsushita then came up with electric electric rice cooker. So he is very innovative, and someone that I really look up to. I read his book many times. And he says, we must continuously learn to unlearn. Many people who has got a mindset, especially engineers. Engineers' mind are very fixed. 1 meter is 10 centimeter, or 100 or 1,000 millimeter, and that's it. They cannot go 1 millimeter more, or they cannot go 1 millimeter less. 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. But in the world of creativity, it doesn't work that way. There are many ways of doing things. So we got to unlearn and look at things differently. Yeah, we must continuously learn to unlearn much that we have learned and relearn. Yes, there are always new formula, new finding, new software, new temperature, new probe, new way, new languages, to learn that we have not been taught. Yes, what we are taught in school is only that year, that 4 years, that 10 years, or that 20 years if you are a PhD. But now you are 60 years, like me, I'm 60, I'm still learning things. You see, over the 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, things change very fast. So we got to continuously keep up with the new technology, right? Only then, he says, only thus do we and our subject grow. So if we are good in the domain of electronic, then only we can grow in our domain. If we are in the domain of, furniture or stationery industry, then only you can grow in your industry. All right. So that's what he says. Again, I like to talk about the mind. So remember, I spoke about the mind. The mind is a software, and then also the human body is the brain is hardware, as well as the human body is a hardware. But you have to know, whatever that is coming into our mind came from a sixth sense organ, right? So we have got eyes to see, ear to listen, and of course a body that touches to know the temperature or to know the roughness, and a tongue to taste whether it's sour or sweet, and nose to smell. So these 5 senses receive the information from outside to the inside, so that internally then the mind process. So the mind is like a computer processor. He has got many things, many things that we call mental formation. He has got many things, plus your other side, which we call the feelings. There are many types of feelings, and together they combine, they conceptualize new ideas, they give birth to new way of thinking. So this is how it goes. So the mind is the most powerful software in the world. Yeah, you can have any computer in the world, you cannot beat the mind. A lot of experiment has been done to see whether the computer is better or the mind is better. I can tell you, all those experiments are useless, because the mind is the one that create the computer. That's why the mind is better. And you have one. You, everyone has got a mind. So you must take all this information and process them and come up with a new idea. You got it? Yeah. So don't think that you don't have a master degree, you cannot invent. No. I want to tell you, my daughter, when they were young, when they are 7 years old, they were already champion, because I taught them how to think and to create things. So don't discredit yourself. You have to go out there and tell the whole world that you also can think. All right. Of course, this is I don't know whether you know him, Tony Buzan. Tony Buzan, he is the creator of mind mapping, right? So he tells us this: the mind is actually about 1.5 kg, about this size, and then weigh about 1.5 kg, and it has got a lot of neurons. It is these neurons that do the thinking. All right. So when the neuron, when you think, the neuron connect, so there, I don't know how to see the number of zeros, billions, trillions, 10 trillions, 1,000 trillions. Yeah. So there is a big possibility for you to keep driving your mind, thinking, go in, recollect your ideas, recollect the memories, recollect what you have read, recollect what you have seen, and from there, this is where you come up with new ideas, right? And the possibility is great, just great. And then he says, how many % of the mind actually works throughout your life? Let's say if you are like me, 60 years old, just guess how many % of the mind we actually use, this neuron, this thinking cell that we have. So sad, huh? Only 3%. We only use 3%. That means 97% of our neuron we never touch, we never use. How stupid we are. Sorry, I use a very harsh word. But that's to drive you, to tell you, look, you have a lot of capacity, just that you never use. You never go and think. So you got to use it now. Now that I have told you, there's a big capacity. Like for example, if you buy a new notebook, right? It goes very fast, right? So that's a good thing about it. It's still new. Here, you still new. Your age may be old, but here is still new. All right. Then this is Dr. Everett de Bono. He's the creator of this lateral thinking. I think most of you know him. This is what he says about the mind. What is the function of a mind? It is a self-organizing mechanism. Meaning, remember, I tell you the senses, what we see, what we listen, what we taste, and all that. It goes inside. So the mind is a self-organizing mechanism. Right? So it is always active. It is always active. Whether if you are cooking, washing, working, running, it is always active. That also explains why you dream at night, right? So it is always active because that's the nature. The nature of the mind is always active. The mental flow is continuous. You cannot stop the mental flow. You cannot stop the mental flow. But if you meditate, you can watch the mental flow. I do a bit of meditation. So I can see my mind, what my mind is doing and so forth. And I know my mind is always active. So being active, it actually provide a kind of pattern, all right? Because if you go to work using this direction, using this route every day, so without GPS, without Waze, you can go. But one day when a tree fell, assuming, and block your way, so you have a headache because you used that way. So that pattern is good because you're good. Like for example, sportsman, a javelin thrower. So because he's so good, he create a pattern he can throw. But then if something wrong, on that day, assuming he doesn't have a shoe, so what happened? So that is the problem with our thinking mind. Our thinking mind is so used with things that it become a pattern, especially company. I'm now talking to you as a manager. If you're watching me, now your staff is doing things 24 hours, same thing. Potato in, potato out. So he hasn't changed for the last 20 years. Because that's his job. So if you ask him to do something new, he's taking a risk. That's why if you are a manager and then you want him to come up with some thinking, then you must understand he's taking some risk. So you must allow him to fail. Because the risk comes with failure. You must allow him to risk. Otherwise, he's not willing to give you ideas. Alright? So this is a very important message that I want to give to you. Okay? So now I want to talk about the human being. Why the human being has a thinking mind? So assuming you are on bicycle and you want to carry a tank and you still need to hold on to your bicycle, what do? Right? You put a tank on the head. Then if you are a company like, for example, Honda, and why does the factory that produce a car has gone into making robots, right? Can you tell me? Because he wants to stay ahead of competition, right? And assuming here, you cannot find an MP3, but yet you want to listen to music while you're cooking, right? Then you put you put a laptop right behind, so you can still do your cooking. Your two hands can still do your cooking. So my question here is this: the main purpose of having a thinking mind is for what? You tell me. It's for what? Why do human beings have a thinking mind? Survival. Yes. So I think as a top management, you need to survive. You have got bills to pay, and the clock keep ticking. The clock doesn't stop. It doesn't say, "Oh, I can give you time. This is pandemic time. You don't have to pay your salary, your staff salary." No, it's not true. You need to pay. So you need to come up with ideas to overcome whatever the problem you face, and your staff have the ideas, right? Because every one of us are equipped with a mind, and our mind are designed for survival. Okay, so I actually have a lot of things to show you, but I think we have quite a lot already. So I have really enjoyed speaking to you, and I hope this short message that I have delivered today has give you a new perspective about how innovation can take place, whether your company is small or large, especially large company. If you are worried, don't, because there is method. There's a way how to continue to develop your business with new ideas at home in your company, and also ideas for your market to create new revenues. All right, so with that, I like to say thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you enjoy as much as I've enjoyed sharing with you. Okay, thank you so much. I will see you again. Bye bye.